welcome back. We got the job on the Kia, so that's why we're on part two. The guy said go for it. It needs some other mechanical work too. He wants to skip that for the time being and just fix the drivability problem, the engine light, the skipping, and all that business. So we're gonna get at it. Got to pull the intake off. These are kind of a pain in the butt because, like most of the intakes this style, they've got brackets around the back of the engine. I guess what's good is it doesn't look like it's ever been touched, so all that stuff is still there. You know, often we find that once these have been touched, stuff is missing or not bolted down. But it looks like everything's here, but it does look like somebody's been here. I see that the air intake tube is already loose and the clamp is off the brake booster hose, but they look like they've been loose and off for some time now, so I don't know what the history is on it, but in either case, we'll get ripping and tearing. Because first things first, we will get this air cleaner out of our way and make room back to the throttle body. Peel this off. Like I said, the clamp back here, you know, where it bolts the throttle body, that's already loose. Somebody's been there at some point. Just for checking the air filter or what the story may be. So I'll take a 10mm socket on the exception of this one Phillips head screw here. Side, we'll unplug the mass airflow. This bracket. This clamp's already loose. Another guy off, get a pair of pliers and take that hose off. And that's that. Oh, what do we got here? Like a purge solenoid or something. Take that bracket off. Essentially what we're going for is, you know, to pull the intake manifold off there. So the less stuff we can unhook, unplug, the better. So we'll just kind of set that to the side. We do have a couple vacuum hoses here right behind the throttle body. We'll have to take and wiggle those little guys off. I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave the throttle body all intact. Just going to unbolt it, hopefully, and not ruin the gasket. That's going to be the key, because I did not get us a new throttle body gasket. Oops. I don't know why. I wasn't thinking. But there's water hoses and stuff that hook to the throttle body. My little sucker's on there. And if we can avoid unhooking those, that'll be best. You can just leave it on back there. Yeah, thanks, Frank. Yep. Oh man, dude, this vacuum hose is stuck. There she goes. A little bit of crust. It's like everything else in New York. A little bit crusty. Hopefully these spark plug tube seals in the back are not. Split that hose a little bit there. He's a little bit hard. There we go. Problem solved. There's plenty of hose. It's for the fuel pressure regulator. So we'll stick those to the side. We won't lose them. Alright, like I said, I think we're just going to unbolt the throttle body. I suppose we can get this brake booster hose off. Somebody's already taken the clamp off. Looks like it's been off for quite a while from the looks of it. I'm just going to get stuff tore apart as we see here. Well, maybe somebody started this job and decided it was too much, or not sure. Stick that out of our way. Got a couple brackets what's over here. That is probably O2 sensors, so I don't know what they go to. We've got another connector here that's bolted on with a ground wire. Take that off. Set that to the side. Put our bolts back in it so we don't get them mixed up here. That one just goes into that bracket. Ground wire bolts to the bracket, bracket bolts to the intake. So what we can do actually, we just hook our wire right back up to it. Alright, then we got some kind of intake manifold runner control valve or something here, I imagine it looks like. Let's unhook that. It's like a map sensor. Back, we'll unhook that. Got this bracket here, which is also part of the bolts that hold the intake down. Got the bracket for the throttle cable. Worst part is the brackets on the back side. So you got this one here for the engine lift bracket. Then there's another one down behind there. Those are going to be a little bit of a trick. Grab a 12 mil here, see if we can peel this throttle body off. Feel it. There she is. Or maybe not. Mirror. Mirror. Ooh, looks like we're going to need a chrome socket. It's got kind of a little extrusion around it. Impact socket's a little too fat. Now, Milwaukee, you got beans today. I think ain't got a whole lot of power, but it's kind of handy. Yeah, because I mean, it's barely tight. I think they advertise it at like, I don't know, 40 foot-pounds or something, but it's kind of a far stretch, I'll be honest with you. Now, I don't know if this thing has a bracket on it, which it feels like it does. Let's just see if our gasket's breaking away freely. Get our bolts out of here. Maybe it's just my bolts that were hanging me. Okay, they're all the same. Looks like the gasket cracked away nice. And instead of us finding the bracket that holds this on, we'll just leave it hanging, because theoretically our intake should come straight up off. There is enough gap. It looks like our gasket stayed attached. It stayed attached to the throttle body, so we should be in good shape. That looks like all the stuff that bolts to the intake. So what we have to do now is we have to pull out a pretty classic move right here, and I think you guys know what that move is. And that's right, we're going to have to give this thing the classic reach around to get to these bolts. So we've got a bracket down here that houses the O2 sensor wire. We're going to have to unhook that bracket. Probably can't see that. Well, you might be able to. But 12 millimeter wrench, it looks like. Then there's the bracket that holds the intake. And then on this side, we've got the engine lift bracket. Got one bolt at the top, two at the bottom. And that is also going to be pain in the neck to get to from the looks of it. So let me grab a wool wrench. Hopefully we can just crack them loose and they'll spin out with our fingers. That'd be great. I think they're 12. They might be 14. Oh, that's 12. Oh, it's a brat biscuit. Oh, there's gonna be some skin loss here, I can tell you. I gotta see which one I'm on. I might not even be on the right one. Where's the mirror? Mirror! There she is. No, we're on the right one. We are taking off the O2 sensor bracket bolt first, just because that's the one we landed on. Oh, look at that. Spins right out my hand. Some days you get lucky. I'm just going to stick that bolt right back in the intake. Rack to the side, and right next to that should be the other one. Get out of it. That might be 14. I don't know why I got a light. It's going in my field. Am I using a wrench? Good question, Eric. Why are you using a wrench? We need some flexiness. There we go. Let's try this. Makes more sense. That bracket has a ledge on it, so you can't really get under good with a wrench. This thing is. Oh, she's 12. I just can't hit the hole. Let's see. Now I need a little extension. Story of my life. Room to wiggle back here. I think we got it. There it is. Numero uno. Then we'll come over to the other side. I probably shouldn't even record this whole part of it. But I did have a viewer get mad, tell me my channel sucks because I don't show the entire process, every nut and bolt, the whole thing. I just thought it was kind of funny that it was on the Dodge Caravan engine replacement video. And he said he's gonna unsubscribe. So he will be missed. We will continue to try to do better and show you every nut and bolt, every click of the ratchet. Pretty awesome, ain't it? Oh yeah. That's what it's all about. Alright, I'm gonna skip that one. Conveniently put this one between the heater core hoses. Awesome. Let's see if we can crack this loose. Man alive. torqued to factory spec because they're tight. I know we torqued such factory spec. You know what I need? I need a 0 offset wrench. It's the 15 degrees that's screwing me on there. I don't think I got a straight 12. Maybe. Nope, that's even offset. Oh, I do, but she's a short one. I don't know if I got enough oomph in my little arms to do this. I don't think so. Let me see. What? Alright, let me move this. And you guys can't see anything anyways. We'll try a black pair of gloves. I don't know if that'll help. But maybe. You gotta try something. Can't even get on that little guy. There she is. Is that? No, that's not. I don't have the trick. This is where the 2 out of the 2.9 hour book time comes from. It's this bolt. I'm certain of it. Ooh, piss pie. I guess we better check to see if it's 12. That seemed to work last time. Feels like it is. I think I'm in. Come on, okay. Oh, do you hear that? Worst part is this ratchet is not a fine tooth. Stop being miserable. Alright. Well. Bing bong, there they go. Well, let me see. What's up, Mrs. O?
They need to pick up their truck at 5, whether or not it's done.
The one Josh is looking at?
Yes. Because he needs it.
That's in like 3 hours.
I know, but I don't want you to like have it looking like this thing and they can't pick it up at 5 because you got it all torn apart.
Why you gotta come out and get down on me, Vanessa?
I'm just telling you so that you don't come calling me later and saying, hey, why didn't you tell me they needed it at 5?
Oh, like I'm always calling and mother effing you. Is that what you're telling me?
Did I say that?
That's what you're implying. What the freaking
That's your mind.
I don't think that.
What'd you do? Did you break it?
No, we're trying to get this stupid bolt out back here. Now my socket's stuck. We're giving it the classic of classic moves that you can give a car.
You don't seem very good at that move right now.
Thanks.
You seem to be struggling.
You don't even know what move it is.
I'm just saying, like, it's hard for you.
It's not. See?
Well, I didn't doubt you.
Do you want to guess what move we're pulling off right here?
No.
Come on.
Nope.
You can do it. You can do it.
I don't know.
You're so proper. You're so proper. Did I tell you that somebody on my channel was complaining?
No.
I did.
People don't complain.
They did because I didn't show like an entire nut and bolt process. Guy's mad. He's unsubscribed, so he won't even know that we're talking about him. Unless he's watching in secret on his other account. Oh! Alright, I'm gonna get this
I don't understand. What were they mad about?
Because I don't show the whole thing.
They wanted to see which way you turn the bolt?
Yeah, ready to tell you lefty,
yeah.
do the whole spiel.
Right.
I don't know. Because it would be a video like this, or like, oh, we're on part 7 of the spark plug change. I'm all red in the face. We've been flinging stuff across the shop. Instead, we can edit all that out and be like, take that bolt out. Ta-da! You know?
Hopefully they understand the process of removing a bolt.
I obviously don't at this point. let's skip that bolt. We've already skipped the first one.
Does it really need it? Just
Yeah,
leave it out.
If we took the torch and just went across that back of that thing, problem solver. And then just be like, look, some hack's already been back here. You can't get to this. That's why they put the hook here. You leave them bolts in and you jack this thing up with a cherry picker. Is that what you think?
What are you trying to do anyways?
Oh, there's 2 bolts back here. What's it look like it's doing?
You're removing them, putting them in? What are you
I'm trying
doing?
to get them out, Vanessa.
For what?
To pull the intake off.
Are they fixing it?
Yeah. He said fix it, man.
Really? And what about the noise?
In the back,
What's that?
the upper shock bushings are
Really?
gone. Like
They're
they
gonna-
don't even exist.
Are they gonna fix that?
Nope. Yeah, baby. Nope, he said don't fix the broken shock. But he doesn't want this thing to have a hitch in his giddy up, so.
I think he said that he didn't want his wife to get stranded.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, I see.
That's what he
Well,
told
that's a
me.
heck of a nice husband. Right there, I tell
Very
you.
caring and thoughtful.
Yeah. What's his name, Eric? Nothing? It's basically like the Japanese definition of my name if you looked it up in the Japanese library on the internet. Google it.
What does Eric mean in Japanese?
Yeah. Do not look, do not look up my name on what they call the Urban Dictionary though.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you're a dude, go look on the Urban. No, don't go look on the Urban Dictionary. Naughty, naughty place.
So, what are you confessing to right now? You were.
Oh, I was down at my brother's shop.
Oh, I don't even want to know. Just stop right there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just telling you. I'm
Okay.
trying to be truthful with you. Vanessa. That's
You don't really need to be truthful
what
with me
relationships are about.
on YouTube, but we can definitely have a conversation about this later.
Oh, it's funny. You're going to have to look it up then.
It doesn't sound like I want to get on that.
Well, I don't think it's true. But it makes sense. No.
Oh. Alright. I'm going back to my office.
Alright, go get on Facebook. Okay?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing there all day?
Yeah.
Alright, good luck.
Yeah.
I think we got it. Look at that. We just need Mrs. O to talk us through it. So the straight wrench appears to be the key. Little straight ratchet wrench we got right back here. Of course you can't see anything. Just this light shining in my face the entire time. And there we are. There's the bracket we're after, the 2-3 bolts on the back of that. And with this little reveal right here, where it protrudes up, that's what was kind of the hindering factor. I guess it would be, but however I did notice, there is another connector back here on this. I don't know if it's a 2-way sense. I don't know if that's, yeah, it's gotta be some kind of throttle or intake rudder control valve, so there's 2 connectors on that. I think that's going to be everything, folks. The best I can feel. So, now we can pull the intake. We'll crack all these loose. There's a couple nuts. These nuts. Right there's one. And there's another. Let's get some power tools. This hand tool business is for the birds. Looks like there's a washer. Let me get a jumbo size magnet. Can't get down in there. It looks like there is a washer. There is. There's that washer. Oh. Seen this magnet they make that's hollow in the center that you can stick right over a stud to pull off washers and stuff. I keep thinking I want to get one of those, but I only remember when I'm doing something like this, and then I never end up getting it. Anyhow, probably mention it. Ooh, those are little guys. I was wrong. Those do not go down to the intake. Ah! I was wrong. Those other ones are down here. There's one. There's another. There's another. I just assumed that they were big jumbos. Baby, we're so close right now. All right, now we get to see how much stuff we forgot. Ha! We didn't forget nothing. Look at that, first try. Okay. I love the smell of an engine. All right. Ooh, she looks a little oily back here. Please don't be full of oil. Please don't be full of oil. Just a smidge towards the top on that one. Holy crap, this guy. Whew, she's dry. She's dry. Woo! We got lucky today, baby. Or this feller did, one or the other. So I keep our order correct so we can reroute our wires. Of course, they're aftermarket, so you know they're gonna fit like dog doo-doo. We'll stick them to the side. We probably should be wise and cover up the open holes so we don't drop anything. We'll grab a rag. That would be the smart thing to do. Stick that over there. Look at that. Like a glove. And then we'll get a blow nozzle, give it a little toot down in the spark plug holes, make sure there's no crusties sitting down in there. We'll crack them loose, get them out, run our wires, reverse the process, put the intake on, and then we'll do the front coils. And I think we'll be in good shape. No garbage back there that I saw. You guys want to bet if it has champions in the back? Remember, it had champions in the front. Engines of this design are notorious for having the 3 spark plug tune-up. You see it all the time. Pull an intake. Guess what? OEM in the back. Front one's been changed 5 times. Champion. So at least whoever did it was consistent. Now these ones are double platinumed. They had the platinum electrode on the ground. Remember in the first video there, we noticed that was missing. But if we think about it, that's not unusual on a waste spark system, because and that one has it. So these have the platinum tip left on the ground electrode. So on a wave spark system where you have a coil and a wire, one of these sparks plugs is going to jump the spark from the ground electrode to the center electrode, and the other one is going to jump from the center electrode to the ground electrode, depending on what end of the loop it's on. And it used to be, I remember on old GMs back when I was just a young fella, that they used to have to buy 2 different spark plugs, depending on if it was the positive or negative side of the coil. So I kind of feel old saying that. But then with the advent of double platinum, it doesn't matter what way the spark jumps. Just on the older GMs, if you had them backwards, just one of the electrodes would erode very quickly. So that's it. That's your free tip. Free tip Friday on a Tuesday. So now we're going to go ahead and install our brand new Denzos. Double platinum. We'll get them started. Torque them to factory specs, of course. And we'll see how good our wire set is. Aftermarket wires are usually a mess. We just try to do the best we can. Unfortunately, I would love to buy all OEM parts. However, you would never ever get the job, just because, you know, you can go downtown and, you know, you buy their premium wire set or whatever you call it. You know, the better of the bad stuff. You know, you definitely don't buy the store brand, as they call it. But, you know, you buy a set of wires, you know, maybe like $70, but, you know, the OEM would be 300 or something. It's kind of a hard sale to make on a, you know, high mileage New York car. But, you know, definitely when I work on my own stuff, I just go OEM. I know the value in it, but it's very hard to express to a customer, you know, that value. Especially in January when everybody just got their property tax bill and all that stuff. So on these, I took them out with a magnetic socket. It's kind of a cool socket. It's actually a snap-on socket. I don't even know. Well, the number doesn't matter, but it's got a magnet in it that holds the spark plug for you. Instead of having a rubber in there, it's got the magnet. However, there is not a lot of tolerance around that magnet, between the magnet and the ceramic. So if you got it down in there and you're tightening up the spark plug and you don't hold your extension like perfect, cracks the porcelain. And in some cases, you don't know it. So I do not like to use this socket to put in spark plugs. I personally like just a standard, this is the Mac, 5/8 socket, because the barrel on them is wide open, so they have a little bit of give for not being perfectly in line, I guess it would be. What's up, Mrs. O?
There's a customer on the phone, Mr. O.
Oh yeah? Like an irate one? Or a happy one?
Curious one.
Curious one? Well, let's see if we can't ruin their day. Let's see if we can't ruin their day. So next, we will do our wires. Let's just figure out who's who here, so we can get our order correct. Let me get a Sharpie, because by the time I'm done talking to you guys, I will have forgotten. So let's see here. What do we got on the back? 135, is that right? Does that make sense? Yeah, 135. So in this holder, they are 5, 1, and tray. And then we come back through here, and I believe they stay the same. 5, 1, and 3. That is the order through all the holders in this 5, 1, and 3. Does that make sense? I don't know if it does or not. But that's the story. So now we can pull the plastic retainers off of them. There's that one. We'll get them off of these coils on front. That one there was 1 and 3. I'm going to write it down even though it's 2 and you think I would remember it. Make yourself a little note, lest we not forget. Ooh, this little plastic holder is broke. It's okay, we'll still save it. And what did they do? They ran under all of the wires. Don't forget that. In this handy dandy tray. That's cute. It's like a double holder thing. So let's get them out of the way. What we should do now is just replace these coils. That way when we route our wires we can plug them up. Thought we had a 10 out. Didn't we have a 10? We don't have a 10? It's missing. It's not an appropriate slot in the toolbox. Oh, 10. Oh, there it is. It's like deja vu. We just had these off. Set them in the order in which they were removed. Up on the cowl/parts holder. Put them up there. There's that one. There's that one. Oh, they stink. They smell like electricity. And there's that one. Almost those trays. Did we have all them out yesterday? I think so. 1, 2, number 6. So these ones here, these Denzos, they come pre-gapped. They've got the protective sleeve, so you don't have to worry about them being dropped and banged together. Lots of room in there. Lots of protection. Big warning on them, do not gap. So, in case somebody's home screaming about that. What else are they screaming about? The lack of never sees of putting these in. It's such a controversial topic. If you ask the spark plug manufacturer, they say never sees because of galvanic corrosion, whatever that means. Evidently the coating that they put on these spark plugs, whether it's nickel or whatever it is, reacts with the never sees, that reacts with the aluminum, that I believe ultimately ends up seizing them in the head. That's not my set of facts, so no, they could be all wrong. I'm not even sure, but I do never seize the ones in the 3-valve Fords. I slobber them babies right up before I stick them in. That way you've got like a small chance of hope of getting them out in the future without breaking them off. Where's my little ratchet? We've got these 2 out. I didn't think this job was going to require 3 ratchets, but apparently it does. Isn't it funny how you go to do one job, next thing you know your tool cart is like heaping over? Need a longer extension. There we go. I do have some dedicated spark plug sockets, just by the way. Somebody will probably mention that about the long tube spark plug sockets. I do have those. I just select to use a standard 5/8. I've actually got a full set of spark plug sockets of various sizes and lengths and swivels. It's right here. So yes, I do have a couple different kinds. These are great for if you get some dingbat comes in, it's got headers on. You can take that, slip it right over, then you can use a wrench on it. So that's pretty handy. That's a snap-on socket too. Can't read the number on it, I don't know. But that's pretty handy. I've used that back in my youth when I used to have headers. We have our 3 new ignition coils. We'll give them a little toot of dielectric grease to provide some insulation. Get our connector lined up here. There's that one. Easy peasy. I don't think they can slip past the plug, so we ain't gotta worry about that. Get our brackets back on. Oh, you know, while I'm thinking about it, it was kind of struck me yesterday. I was thinking at some point, as I tend to do, that this thing was not registering anything other than the number 6 misfire. And I've got to look this up to be sure, so make sure you guys remind me. I don't believe the misfire strategy on these Hyundai Kias is taken from crankshaft variants, speed variants. I believe it uses that ignition monitor that we fixed on one of these. It may have been, I don't know, is this van or another van? Kia with a 3.5. I want to say it was, their strategy was, I think it measured the current going through the coil, something or other. We're going to look into that, so remind me. Yeah, the ignition misfire monitor, I don't remember. Something like that, but anyhow, I got thinking about that, and I meant to look that up, and I've yet to do so, but I will. And you guys tell me I was putting that one on wrong. I knew that couldn't go right in front of that coil. Tell me. So our wires, they came labeled 1, 3, and 5. So we'll put just a smidge dielectric grease on these. And get these little guys routed under there, under the wires first, and then we'll get them hooked to the coils. That's beautiful. Let's see, number 5. So now we'll start getting them in their respective looms. This is labeled as number 5. Shoe light right there. Right there. All right. What do we got here? Number 1. Uno. She went right there. I guess we should have put some dielectric grease in those. And number 3 by default is going to be right there. I feel like I'm already boring everybody to death by showing the entire process. I'm doing it just out of spite. But I'm going to take and get these routed. I don't want this video to be like an hour long. Well, there we have it. Those little guys for aftermarket fit absolutely gorgeous. I must say, I'm a little bit impressed. But I'm curious to as if somebody switched them in the box or something, but it wouldn't make sense, so I usually don't reveal the brands just because. So these are just some car questers, all right? And when I ordered these, I looked them up, online at Advance Auto, and it specifically stated that if you're buying these, that in order to get the complete set, you have to buy an additional part number, whatever it was, which was the coil boots for the bottoms of the coils. However, when I opened these up, they actually had the coil boots in there. And, it specifically said when I ordered them that they are not included. Must order extra part number, blah, 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 such and such. And, I don't know. They say the silicone jacket, low ohm, 7mm, but I've used these before, and I've used the, like the Autolite Exact Fits, which usually fit pretty decent, but I've never seen them come through labeled. These kind of look like intermotor wires, which the intermotor wires are rather expensive, so I don't know. So we will slip our new gasket on here. Obviously make sure the mating surface is clean and free of debris. Wow, you can actually put this on wrong and it's like barely wrong. It's just about 1/8 of a whole difference here. So let's flip it over. There she is. Interesting. I've removed the gasket from the bottom side of the plenum. I've also wiped off where the throttle body went and its corresponding gasket, which I use as a paper gasket, and it looks to be in great shape. So now we're very gingerly going to set this back in here. Being mindful not to knock off your throttle body gasket. I'll take and get some of the brackets and stuff situated here. Make sure we're not pinching any of the wires. Make sure all of that looks hunky-dory. It does. I don't see any reason why we can't start throwing it back together. I guess I would give this piece of advice. I think we're going to go for the bolts on the back first, not to tighten them, but to get them started, because sometimes it's nice that you can get them in, you can kind of wiggle the intake here a little bit. Because those bolts, the only reason I say that is the brackets that come up to the back of the intake are bolted like, to the exhaust manifold or, down to the head or something. And, the intake's on and those brackets are put on. So if this gasket is slightly different or you've got this sitting on here and I just, minutely different, sometimes them holes don't line up 100% perfect. And if we can avoid wrenching them bolts in all the way, then we will. So that's another free tip. Free tip Friday again on a Tuesday. So that one threaded right in. That was nice and easy. Remember, you've got your oxygen sensor wire bracket back here also. So just being that our hands are right in this vicinity, we'll get that wired back up, or bolted back up rather. Like I said, we'll just leave all these just kind of finger tight until we get the manifold bolted down. We'll get this bolted back on here wherever it went. I believe right here. Looks about right. say, this one, the bolt here right tight against these heater hoses, so they're kind of a pisser to get to. They're on a little bit of a angle like this, you know, angle like that. I guess it would be pointing down, so just enough where you can't get your digits on there. Get those started. Oh, look at that. Alright, I'll get this last one, and then we'll carry on. Let's see. We have these washers. Get them stuck back on there without dropping them. Those are back in. We'll get the bolts back in our intake. And then pretty much just got to start hooking stuff up, which is kind of the easy part. So make sure you have these all started by hand before you go torquing them to factory specs. Ooh, she's down in there. So basically, we're just gonna finish putting it together naturally. Intake's tightened down to factory specs. So I'm just gonna bolt the remaining connectors here. We gotta get on, reach back here, tighten up those brackets. We've got the vacuum hoses we've unhooked, this bracket here, for the purge solenoid, all of our connectors, our brake booster hose, and bolt the throttle body back in, and then we'll fire this little guy up. But in an effort to save some time, I'm not going to show it. So please, please don't complain. And that should be the last bolt. Got the back brackets tight. I did not hook up a single wire over here. Look at this. This is why we double check. What a rookie. I would have ran like poo. No map sensor. IMRC valve. Lots of lights on the dash. Okay, those are plugged back in. See, those are that bracket, that ground wire, that bracket. Intake's tight. Coils are tight. The back 3 spark plugs are tight. That's a purge solenoid. We got our 2 vacuum hoses. We put the clamp back on the brake booster. We bolted down the throttle body. That moves nice and freely. I think we've got it all. Air box is back on. We did tighten that clamp, unlike the other fellow that was in there. Mass airflow, clips back in. I'd say we are in good shape for the shape we're in. Reach in here. Skipping. We put a hose on it. Put an exhaust hose before we get choked out in here. We'll hook up a scan tool, clear the codes, and we'll investigate into that ignition sensor. I believe that's what it is, an ignition sensor that monitors coil feedback, but I'm not sure if that's really what monitors the misfires. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so I looked here for us. I just happened to look under a 306 because that's going to give us our code setting criteria. And it is, I was wrong, it is measured fluctuation of crank angular acceleration. Wow. So it basically measures, crankshaft RPM variation. And so that's how it sets a misfire. And then the thing I was thinking of is this, what do they call it? Yeah, the ignition failure sensor. And it says here the ignition failure sensor is used to check whether the spark ignition is occurred correctly or not, and it's also used to drive the tach. So we did have, spark occurring monitors voltage resistance for the ignition. So yes, that is not used to let's confirm every ignition event. So yeah, I was wrong. I was thinking perhaps that ignition failure sensor had something to do with the misfire monitor, but it obviously does not, because the code setting criteria for a 306, which is what we have, or any of these for that matter, are going to be from a fluctuation of the crank sensor. So we're plugged in here. We're going to clear the codes out. We just had that 306 in there from yesterday. The vehicle never left, so we'll see. It was running pretty crappy. I started up this today to bring it in, and it's juggling pretty good. Wire all rip around the block. Yeah, so that's all we've got in it, is that 306. Went for a little toot around the block because he had a comment about the noise in the back, and I don't know, I made it half mile down the street and cleared right up and ran somewhat decent. But if you you know, if you got on the throttle, it should skip and backfire out through the intake and run rough. But if you're just going easy on it, it wasn't too bad. So let's see here. And, we'll fire it up. I don't think we had any misfire monitors. So let's just let it warm up, see what happens. Well, it's warming up here. Everything is looking pretty good. Only about 130 degrees right now. I don't hear any misfiring, and we obviously don't see any more fireworks show there. Engine feels nice and smooth. Yeah, we don't hear it backfiring back to the intake. I'd say we did a good job.